So, dear students, our today's chapter is power sharing. Sharing, you all know, and power. This is a term which is defined in physics also. But today we'll understand power with respect to social science. And students, today I'll try to explain this concept to you all with the help of two case studies. One is Belgium and other is Sri Lanka. Dear students, before we move ahead, I'd like to explain you that my aim behind teaching this chapter to you is to develop understanding of power sharing and to help you as a citizen in future to create a peaceful and harmonious society. Students, you must have heard about Darwin's theory of evolution and Herbert Spencer's theory of survival of the fittest. आपने देखा होगा कि जो स्ट्रॉन्ग स्पीसीज हैं वो सरवाइव कर जाती हैं, whereas the weak ones they perish. Even in oceans, in the race of survival, हर बड़ी मछली अपने से छोटी मछली को खा जाती है. But we are humans. We have certain moral values, tradition, culture. We have developed into a civilization. और हम अपने से जो कमजोर है उसको सप्रेस नहीं करते. We give them a helping hand, and that is why we are called humans. And that is why we are the most developed creature on this earth. So we have to carry on this tradition of our civilizations, and that is why we are trying to understand this chapter. In today's chapter, we'll study about the case studies as I told you. One is of Belgium, another is of Sri Lanka. Then we'll talk about importance of power sharing. Why do we need power sharing? Then we'll discuss about various forms of power sharing. And afterwards, we'll discuss about one case study from Lebanon, which is Khalil's dilemma. Let's come to Belgium first. You can see here, this is the map of Belgium. Belgium is a country in Europe which shares boundary with France, Luxembourg, Germany and Netherlands. Students, this country has got historical importance in Europe also. You must have heard about Battle of Waterloo. Have you? Yes. It's a famous battle where Napoleon was defeated by the European powers. And this place is in Belgium. So now let us move to the ethnic composition of Belgium. You can see this yellow shaded region. This is known as Flemish region, wherein Dutch are in majority. And this red shaded region is known as Walloon region, wherein French are in majority. If you see the ethnic composition of Belgium, you can see there are mostly French and then we have Dutch. Towards this side, that is the eastern side of Walloon, we have Germans also, who are hardly 1% in Belgium, and they are also the minority here. But we'll talk only about the Dutch and the French in this country. In the whole country, you can see the Dutch were in majority, who were around 59%, and the French, they were 40%, and the German, they were 1%. Okay. And if you see the ethnic composition of Brussels, Brussels is the capital of Belgium. So here the composition is opposite. Here it is the French who are in majority. They are 80% and the Dutch are in minority. They are 20%. Okay. So what happened in this society? There was conflict among the Dutch and the French. What was the reason? Actually, after Second World War, what happened? The French, they were highly intellectual and educated society, whereas the Dutch, although they were in majority, but they had not got the benefit of higher education and economy and development in the country. So what happened? There was conflict in the country between these two communities. अब देखो, अगर मेरे और आपके या दो लोगों के बीच में कन्फ्लिक्ट होगा तो उसको सॉल्व करने के दो तरीके हैं। इधर हम आपस में बातचीत करें, डिस्कशन करें, मुलाकात करें, या फिर हम मुक्का और लात करें। अब आपको पता है जब भी कन्फ्लिक्ट होगा तो क्या होगा, पहले बहस होती है, फिर हाथापाई होती है, फिर वेपन्स निकल आते हैं, वॉयलेंट स्ट्रगल में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है ना। तो बेस्ट सॉल्यूशन क्या है? मुलाकात करना, टू सिट डाउन टुगेदर, talk peacefully, and take out the solution. This is the best way to handle a social conflict anywhere, whether it is in a family, society, or between the countries. So, what happened? There was acute, we can say, social conflict between the French and the Dutch in the capital, and it was spreading throughout the country also. But before it would convert into civil war, the top leaders, they understood that they have to sit down and discuss the problem with each other, and they have to take out solution through discussion and debate. Okay, so this conflict between the majority and minority in Belgium was resolved through discussion and debate in the parliament. I hope you know what is majority and what is minority. Majority means those who are more in number, and minority means those who are less in number. So, what is the highest forum for discussion and debate in a country? Obviously, it's the parliament. The top leaders, where will they discuss? They'll discuss in the parliament. So what they did, they sat in the parliament, they discussed, debated with each other, and they brought some major amendments in the constitution of Belgium between 1970 to 1993. And there were how much amendments? 4 amendments between this period. And what was the reason behind the amendment? That was to accommodate the social differences and to accommodate the cultural diversities. So through these amendments, certain features were developed in Belgium, and the motto was to resolve the conflict in peaceful way. So through these amendments, what happened? A famous Belgian power sharing model was developed, which led to a harmonious and peaceful society in Belgium, and now it is a developed country. Its economy is also developing a lot, and the citizens, no matter they belong to any linguistic group or ethnic group, they are living happily and peacefully with each other. So let us come to the Belgian model of power sharing. What was this model of power sharing? There are 4 important features of this power sharing model. The first one is, what they did, they decided to give equal representation to both the linguistic groups in central government. That means 50% ministers will be from Dutch community and 50% ministers will be from French community. So there is equal representation, so there is no any case of domination or partiality. And even in Brussels also, it was decided to give equal representation to both the community. Although we have already read now that there were 80% French and 20% Dutch, but they decided no, there will be equal representation to both the community. And the same thing was practiced in the central government. Then, through this transformation, what they did, they gave some of the powers of central government to state government. Earlier, Belgium's administrative structure was a unitary form of government where central government is highly powerful and the state government works under central government. But now what they did, they transferred some of the powers of central government to unitary government, and now both the governments are at equal platform. So this led to transformation of the government from unitary to federal feature, wherein both central and state are equally powerful. If you compare India, India is neither unitary nor pure federal country. India is a quasi-federal because central government tends to be little bit powerful than the state government. Although the state government doesn't work thoroughly under central government in India, but central government is little bit powerful than the state government. So it is quasi-federal. And pure federal countries example is like USA. Then we have this Belgium, Even Australia, they are pure federal countries where the central and the state governments are equally powerful. Then this unique concept was developed in Belgium, that was of community government. You know, students, in every society there are certain issues which are sensitive issues, and they are mostly related to language, or it can be related to culture or religion. So to handle this problem, what they did, they decided that they will have separate government for separate linguistic group, and it was known as community government. So for example, they had community government for French, then separate for German and separate for Dutch. And they were handling only the matters related to language and culture. So these were the four features of the Belgian model of power sharing, and they were quite successful. We can say model of power sharing, and it led to a creation of peaceful and harmonious society in Belgium. Now we come to this is also very important, you know. Brussels, and Brussels is the capital of Belgium, you know, and it is headquarters of European Union also. Belgium, you know, the way it resolved its problem, the European countries, you know, they have quite respect for Belgium. They have resolved their problem in a peaceful way. And Belgium is one of the foundation member of European Union also. And when European Union was established, the headquarters was decided to be Brussels. So this is the case study of Belgium. So I hope in this case study you understood that when you resolve problems through discussion and debate, it's the best way, and it creates a harmonious and peaceful society. In our next section, we'll discuss about the case study of Sri Lanka.